Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Box Office Talk. This is the show where I break down what happened at the box office, see if my predictions for the top 5 are correct, then make predictions for next week's top 5. So let's get right on into it. Last week I predicted that number 1 would be Christopher Robin, number 2 would be Mission Impossible Fallout, number 3 would be The Spy Who Dumped Me, number 4 would be The Darkest Minds, and number 5 would be Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. And I got almost all of my predictions wrong except for one. Only 1 out of 5 right for this weekend. And no, it wasn't the obvious number 1 one. Number 1 was actually not Christopher Robin. It was Mission Impossible Fallout yet again, only dropping around like 40%, which is actually pretty good for this movie. It only made $35 million this weekend, adding to a domestic total of $124 million, which is about $10 million away from surpassing the entire domestic total of Mission Impossible 3. And on the worldwide chart, it is sitting at $329 million, which is $70 million away from surpassing Mission Impossible 3 worldwide. So as the weeks go by, this movie is continuing to make more and more, and it will rise in the ranks as far as the other Mission Impossible grosses. So that's pretty good. I'm glad more people went out to see this as a film that I completely adore, but I was just completely surprised that Christopher Robin only came in at number 2. I was quite surprised that Tom Cruise actually got that good of a return on a second weekend. Nonetheless, Christopher Robin made $25 million this weekend, and on the worldwide chart, it's at $29 million right now, which might be seen as a little disappointing. I still think there are a couple worldwide places for it to be released. I know it's not going to be released in China, so they've lost that market, but I think there are still a couple places that it will be released. It needs to get to about $150 million to double its $75 million budget, and I'm thinking that it probably will. Like, a combined domestic total and worldwide, I think it will be able to get there, but this definitely will be one of Disney's lowest grossing movies, like a Peach Dragon or something like that. Number 3 is The Spy Who Dumped Me, which was my only prediction that I got right, and it made $12 million this weekend on a budget of $40 million. So it needs about $80 million to be considered a success. There's no worldwide numbers by the time I'm recording this audio, so maybe there will be by the time it's up, or maybe next weekend. The movie really does need some worldwide support, though, because domestically, this isn't, like, it's not a horrible opening for a movie that costs $40 million, but it just needs to get to $80 million, and $12 million doesn't guarantee an $80 million entire domestic run. So this movie really does need some worldwide support, but maybe it will. I know they went to several different places in the movie. I assume they did, so I'm sure that those places will have this movie released at some point and boost the numbers just a bit. Number 4 is Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, making $9 million, adding to a domestic total of $91 million, and on the worldwide chart, it is sitting at $230 million. So that's still really good for this movie. Both worldwide and domestic numbers still have a long ways to go until it surpasses the first Mamma Mia film. I'm not even sure if they will be able to do that at this point, but still, this movie's doing very well for itself, considering the sequel took 10 years to make. And now we have number 5, which is The Equalizer 2. Similar to the last Mamma Mia mention, is that worldwide and domestically still has a long way to go until it surpasses the original. This movie made $8.8 million, adding to a domestic total of $79 million, so about $30 million domestically, till it surpasses the entire domestic run of the first Equalizer, and worldwide it is sitting at $87 million, and that also has a long way to go until it surpasses the first Equalizer's worldwide total, and especially to get to its 124 doubling point of its production budget, because it really does need to get there if they want to make an Equalizer 3, which I assume they do, because everyone wants a trilogy nowadays, and so far these numbers aren't the greatest, and this is like its 3rd week, and the worldwide numbers really haven't boosted this film by that much. So if I were whoever made this film, I think Sony, I'd be a little worried. Number 6 is Hotel Transylvania 3 Summer Vacation, which made $8.2 million, adding to a domestic total of $136 million. This one is also like about $10 million away until it surpasses the first Hotel Transylvania, and worldwide it is sitting at $338 million, which is about $20 million away from surpassing the first Hotel Transylvania. So give it a couple more weeks, and I think it will be able to do that. Domestically for sure, but worldwide definitely. Give it a couple weeks, and it will definitely surpass the first Hotel Transylvania. Number 7 is Ant-Man and the Wasp, which made $6 million, adding to a domestic total of $195 million, $5 million away from $200 million, which is great, and $11 million until it passes Thor: The Dark World as far as the MCU box office numbers, so that's pretty great. Worldwide, it is sitting at $426 million, but it still needs to pass 519 worldwide to be considered doing better than the first Ant-Man movie. At this point, since it's slowing down a lot, I'm not really sure where else Ant-Man can be released and make a lot of money, but hey, like, if you really look at the budget budget and how much this movie's made, it's still profitable, at least you can say. It's not like they're losing money on this thing. It's just a huge disappointment considering the other MCU films and the fact that the first Ant-Man made more. Number 8 is The Darkest Minds, which made $5.8 million this weekend, which must be completely disappointing. I can't believe I predicted this for number 4, but what can I say? I thought it would do somewhat good considering it's based off a YA novel. I thought the fan base would show up, but I guess not. Worldwide, it is only sitting at $9 million, and the budget is $34 million, so this is another YA franchise that's just going in the trash, like, immediately. like what a poor run, and it's only its first weekend. Number 9 is Incredibles 2, making $5.0 million, adding to a domestic total of $583 million, $17 million domestically away from getting to $600 million worldwide. That'd be so cool to see that happen. I don't think it'll be in the top 10 at that point next weekend, but it would just be so cool to see that happen. And worldwide, it is sitting at $1.047 billion, which is $20 million away until it surpasses Toy Story 3 to be the highest grossing Pixar film, both domestically and worldwide. It just needs $20 million more dollars. I think even though it's leaving the top 10, I think it still will be able to do that, which is fantastic for this film. I'm so happy that this is becoming one of Pixar's highest grossing ones, because even though you could say that Toy Story 3 is a better film, like, still, the fact that Incredibles 2 was so hyped for many years and now it's coming out and Pixar's being rewarded for that, I think that teaches them a valuable lesson about the sequels they make. Number 10, closing out the video, Teen Titans Go to the Movies, only making $4 million, adding to a domestic total of $20 million, and on the worldwide chart, it is sitting at $23 million. So it was able to double its $10 million budget, make $3 million over that, so that's pretty good. Hopefully the creators see this as enough of a success to bring back the original Teen Titans show, which is pretty much why anyone really went out to see this film, was just so they could get that show back. But now it's time for the fun part, the predictions for next week's top 5. I'm actually going to say number 1, I think, will be The Meg. I think there's a considerable amount of hype for that movie, and I think it'll do well. Number 2, I think, will be Slender Man. Number 3, Mission Impossible Fallout. Number 4, Christopher Robin. And number 5, The Spy Who Dumped Me. But what are your predictions for next week's top 5? Leave it in the comments below, and if you got your predictions right for this week, you're going to get a shout out right now. Unless you didn't get it right, then I'm sorry. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.